It is often argued that the distances between stars is so incomprehensibly vast that even if there were other intelligent civilizations out there, the limitations of space travel would make actually traveling from one inhabited planet to another impractical or even impossible. But just how true is this? In this episode, we explore the reality of long-distance space travel and ask the question, how long would it actually take to journey to an alien world? To begin with, we need to state the obvious. To date, we only have one example of a planet inhabited by life, our own. While scientists are making great strides in collecting data about extrasolar planets orbiting distant stars, we have yet to discover a definitive example of a planet with alien life on it, let alone an example of an intelligent alien civilization. When we talk about traveling to an alien world, therefore, we're going to be using examples of extrasolar planets that are potentially habitable, some of the more promising candidates picked up by modern telescopes and that, at the very least, have the potential to harbour primitive alien life. So the three destinations we'll be looking at here are as follows. Number 1. Europa. Okay, this first one is not an actual planet, it is a moon, but it remains perhaps the most promising place we know of to look for alien life. A moon of Jupiter, Europa is a small world consisting of a solid outer shell of ice and a liquid water ocean underneath. There are even plans to send spacecraft there in the not too distant future. It is situated an approximate average distance of around 390 million miles from the Earth. Number 2. Proxima Centauri b. The closest known exoplanet to the Earth at 4.25 light-years away, this relatively nearby world orbits Proxima Centauri, one of the 3 stars in the Alpha Centauri system, which also happens to be the closest solar system to our own. While we don't know if Proxima Centauri is habitable, it is at least a viable candidate, given its Earth-like size and the fact that it is situated in its star's habitable zone, meaning that liquid water can potentially exist on its surface. Number 3. Kepler 62e. Our third candidate world is a lot further away, approximately 990 light-years. It is a super-Earth, meaning that it is quite a bit larger than our own planet, but it does orbit in its star's habitable zone, and while again we don't know for sure if it is actually habitable, it remains a possible candidate. To help put everything else into perspective, we're also going to be including the Andromeda Galaxy in our calculations. This is the next nearest galaxy to our own Milky Way, and it is situated 2.5 million light-years away. Okay, so we have our destinations. So how long would it take us to get to them using today's technology? The fastest speed ever reached by a manned spacecraft, and thus by any human in history, was 24,791 miles per hour, which was achieved by Apollo 10 all the way back in 1969. In practice, though, we wouldn't expect to achieve this sort of speed when travelling long distances through space, especially given that a manned spacecraft heading to Jupiter would be far larger and heavier than the Apollo 10 capsule. Even so, we can use this as a reasonable approximation of a plausible travel speed of a manned spacecraft using today's technology. With that in mind, at 24,791 miles per hour, it would take us around 1.8 years to reach Europa. That's quite a trip, but not insurmountable. Things get a little more problematic travelling to Proxima Centauri b, however. 1 light-year is 5.88 trillion miles. That's a long way, to put it mildly. At 4.25 light-years away, Proxima Centauri is our nearest neighbour, but that's still 24.98 trillion miles. Travelling that distance would take, wait for it, 115,044 years. Kepler 62e is even worse. Getting there would take 26.8 million years. And if you thought that's bad, reaching the Andromeda Galaxy would take 67.7 billion years. That's several times longer than the universe has even existed. Andromeda is actually moving towards us, which would impact this figure, but the principle of the calculation still stands. Taking into account that Andromeda is, again, our nearest neighbour, and that there are thought to be hundreds of billions of galaxies in the universe, you start to see how those arguing that the distances between worlds are too vast might actually have a bit of a point. In conclusion, it would seem as though travelling to an alien world, even within our local galactic neighbourhood, would be impossible with today's technology. That's not to say that it's impossible full stop, since we can only imagine what technologies might be developed over the coming centuries, but for now it's simply not going to happen. There's always a chance, though, that a sufficiently advanced alien civilization might possess technologies that make it feasible for them to visit us, even if we can't go and visit them. Do you think it will ever be possible to travel to the stars? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.